So it is Sunday, February 16th. My watch, don't have a watch band right now, so I can't check. I didn't read that much this past week. I feel like I haven't been doing much of anything at all recently. I don't know. February is the worst month of the year. It is every single year. It's the worst month of the year. It's cold. We don't have that kind of like excitement from the new year anymore. It's just awful. So I read 5 books and I watched 1 movie this past week, and I got a fucking stack, let me tell you, because all of the stuff that I ordered in my mini kind of freak out last weekend came in. Actually, not all of it, but a lot of it. So let's talk about what I read first. What I read, what I'm keeping from what I read, and then what I received. So, what I read and watched. First up, I did read Brunhild the Dragon Slayer, Volume 1 by Yuiko Agarizaki, Taketeru Kirishima, and Awaso, which is a fantasy manga about this girl who she lives in this world where there are these Edens around the world that are protected by dragons, and these Edens, they have this wonderful like fruit. It's like basically it's a Garden of Eden thing, and humans want to try and take these things over, but the dragons kill them every single time. Now this girl, when she was very, very young, she was kind of left on one of these Edens, and she grew up kind of being raised by this dragon. Unfortunately, there's a really weird incest subplot, but yeah, the art is very actiony. It's not bad per se, but I think the combination of the weird incest subplot and then also the art not being really my thing, and the fact that it really takes a lot for me to enjoy a fantasy manga, I give this 2 out of 5 stars. It is one that I got from Hansama back when I was still getting that, and they've had a lot of hits, honestly. Go 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 Ghost, I Want to Do Bad Things with You, what else have I really enjoyed? Even things, Miss Savage Fang, even things I thought I would enjoy. That one was a miss. After that, I read another manga that is Battle Royale 14 by Koshin Takami and Masayuki Taguchi. This is the 14th volume in the manga series. I only have 1 left. I love this series. It's so bad, and the art is so bad. This is what the art looks like, but this is the manga adaptation of the book, and I think this is not really worth it unless you are really, really into the story and the characters. I do think that it's gross and it's exploitative. It got 4 bunnies from Playboy magazine for a fucking reason, man. Like it's there's gore and nudity everywhere, and it's not like all these characters are supposed to be like 14, 15 years old. They do not look 14 or 15 years old. Noriko probably looks the best, but man, they either look 2 or 35. It's not good, but it does have a lot of nostalgia points for me, and honestly I think that this one was really, really fun. We got lots of Kiriyama stuff in here that's really interesting. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This one I think was my favorite of the later volumes. At this point in the series, like my favorite character is long dead, but this one is very good. We're at Endgame now. I only got 1 more. Very excited. At some point I'll read that. Then I read a short story collection. And this is one from Rainbow Crate, which is my current only book box. I've been enjoying it because it just sends you 2 nice fancy special editions, and like maybe a bookmark every month, and I love it. On that I read A Queer and Cozy Winter. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. This is a variety of short stories in a variety of genres. They're mostly, they lean very fantasy, which I thought was interesting. There were some of them that I liked more than others, obviously, as you are always going to find in an anthology. But if we think about it, oh man, there's not a table of contents. How to Successfully Avoid Christmas Drinks was funny. I thought that was interesting. Fae Bride was really good. The BPT Witch's Guide to Self-Care and Summoning was really like labor of love. The last like chunk of stories is really, really good. The first couple were kind of, it really built. I do think that this is a very charming little short story collection. I think it's much better suited to around Christmas. I read around Valentine's Day, but I'm not a big like mood reader or seasonal reader. I just read whatever, whenever. No, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's definitely worth it. And again, it is absolutely stunning. Like, Rainbow Crate does the most when they make their special editions, and I love them a lot. Then I read my 50th book of the year, and that's another manga that was Go With the Clouds North by Northwest, Volume 3. And this is where I'm a little bit unsure on. So I rated it 4 out of 5 stars, and this, from what I can tell, this is volume 3 in a series that I haven't read volumes 1 and 2. This is one that just got randomly in a lot off of eBay. This follows this guy who can talk to machines, and he kind of does like solves like mysteries and stuff. Is what I'm seeing. I do enjoy the art style. This is one where I know I have a couple more volumes of this manga in the book wall. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this one, and then I'm going to read the other volumes and then decide if I actually want to like collect and read the series, because this one is kind of falling in the middle for me. But I have been enjoying it so far, and it is kind of interesting because like he's got a little brother who's got like kind of a creepier power, which I think is kind of interesting. But we'll see. Then yesterday I watched a movie. I did watch The Freshman with Marlon Brando and Matthew Broderick, and it is from like 1990. It follows this college kid who like falls in with the mob. And Marlon Brando basically plays his character from The Godfather, and it is funny in points. I did briefly fall asleep for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then my laundry alarm went off, which did wake me up, and I didn't fall asleep again. It was interesting. I got this movie for free because I got it from the library I used to work at when they withdrew it. I don't know. I don't think it's something I would have ever picked up if I didn't get it for free, but I did watch it. So it's on my letterbox now, I guess. And then the last book I read this past week was one that I really enjoyed, man. This is one that's, I enjoyed really just more so on a personal level than anything. Like, it wasn't like objectively great or anything like that. It's just, for me personally, it's Where Are Your Boys Tonight by Chris Payne, which is the oral history of females mainstream explosion. And let me just read you some of these things that I underlined in here. We got I'd Rather Be Ignored Than Misunderstood. We've got Everyone Thrived Off Heartbreak. I was still young enough that something bad happens, you call your mom, which really hit me because a lot of these people were just so young when they were in these bands. Like, man, when Max Bemis is talking about, he's the guy from Say Anything, he's talking about his grandparents. His grandparents were like in the Holocaust, and he is like half Jewish, and his grandparents saw him as like a mistake. And he says, like, I didn't meet my grandma until Alive with the Glory of Love came out. I played it for her on her deathbed. It was a huge compliment for her to recognize me as not a mistake. I know that's so dark, but it's true. I saw she appreciated me and appreciated the music. She loved it. She cried. She said I was beautiful. And if you listen to Alive with the Glory of Love, like, okay, Say Anything is, like, I'm in a big Say Anything phase right now. This book did not help that. But I've been more, I listened to their self-titled album a lot, that came out in 2009, and I've listened to some songs off of Is a Real Boy, but after reading that, I listened to that whole album front to back, and Alive with the Glory of Love is just, it's so like the beat, and then you listen to it, and it's so clearly about the Holocaust. I'm just like, this is like a Pumped Up Kicks situation here. No, Say Anything's great. I've got a Gabe Support. I had, oh my god. He's like, I'm gonna be young till I die, baby. And Gabe Supporta's stuff in here, like, you can just see that the whole Cobra Starship thing is like, that is Gabe Supporta. Like, that, like, 100%. I love him. He's so fun. Yeah, this from Mikey Way here. Kids were really appreciative of what our music did for them. You Saved My Life became a big keystone. We would flip it back at them. You saved your life because it's the truth. We didn't really do anything, you know what I mean? Maybe we made them realize they could save their life in whatever way they meant it. There were kids who didn't have direction in life, and there were people who were like, you saved my life, in the respect of they're going to end theirs. A lot of kids said that, and it's a heavy thing to hear. But I always felt they did it themselves. Maybe we just made them realize they could. A couple more. From Matt Pryor. I've come to terms that, similar to the term punk, emo is in the eye of the beholder. So is emo Rites of Spring and Sunny Day Real Estate, or is emo My Chem and Fall Out Boy? And the answer is yes. It is whatever it is to you. And since I've never self-identified as emo, it means very little to me. Ha ha ha. And then finally, from Jim Adkins, for me, that's the core of punk rock. Everyone is accepted, you know? We'll meet you where you're at, and you can come along for the ride. So this does cover until like 2008-ish. In 2008, I was 11, and I was really kind of a wannabe emo kid in rural North Dakota in the 2000s, early 2010s mostly. And so, I mean, I did have the requisite My Chemical Romance and Fall Out Boy on my iPod Touch. I've always been a Black Parade person, you know, I've always been a Black Parade person. But near the end, when they were talking about like kind of the dance music that came with the Obama administration, like Lady Gaga, stuff like that. That really kind of those were the songs that I do remember the most from growing up. Like, I mean, I had obviously, I had Dance Dance, I had Thanks for the Memories, I had Sugar We're Going Down, I did have a Fall Out Boy CD, I had From Under the Cork Tree on CD. I was a big All American Rejects. We did have like Nick Wheeler and Tyson Ritter and Mike Kennedy were all had some parts in here, and I was like, All American. I was big into All American Rejects. I had Famous Last Words and The Sharpest Lives for my two My Chem songs. Those were the ones that I enjoyed there. But it doesn't go into like, it does talk a little bit about the fact that there was more like kind of how emo evolved. It does, however, something that was interesting. It takes the more route of talking about how it evolved into like the Little Peep stuff. It does completely bypass the whole next wave, I guess third wave, you call it third wave of like Sleeping with Sirens, Pierce the Veil, that sort of route, which was interesting to me. I don't know, but I gave it 4.75 out of 5 stars because it was really like, it was beautiful in a lot of ways that I really enjoyed. So looking at this stuff, I'm getting rid of Brunhild. I can't stand her. Keeping this because I spent too much money on it. This one I was unsure about at first, but I think I'm gonna keep it. I'm really going to be keeping everything except for Brunhild, aren't I? Yeah, because I'm keeping these. Okay, I'm getting rid of Brunhild, but that's about it. Now, for what I received, I got a bunch of stuff here because, like I said, last weekend, February sucks, and I went on a bit of a book binge. And then some things that are not books. So first, I do have 2 DVDs. I do have the Future Diary, Volume 126, and so this is the entire Mirai Nikki Future Diary anime series. 1 through 26, 4 discs. Great. And then I also picked up The Triangle, which is a movie about the Bermuda Triangle, which looks fun. All right. Speaking of Future Diary, here's volume 4. So now I do have the first 4 volumes. I've read the first one. This is my new old manga series that I'm collecting and will probably spend too much money on. Luckily for me, Future Diary is at that stage where it's not quite so hard to find as Battle Royale was in my last stages of collecting it. I think we're still in the stage where some of them are going to be kind of pricey, but most of them are still in that $10 range, which is acceptable. All right, I did also pick up Tunes for Bears to Dance To by Robert Cormier. I was a big Cormier person. I have never read this one, and it is genuinely 100 pages long, so we'll see. We got What Came From the Stars by Gary D. Schmidt. I loved Gary D. Schmidt. I think he's one of the best children's authors writing today. And I'm interested to read this and then also probably put it in my classroom. So right now my kids are reading. We're reading okay for now as a class and they're loving it. It's great. All right. I got a bunch of Stephen King hardcovers. So starting with Dreamcatcher. I have a hardcover Dreamcatcher. That's the thing. I have a hardcover, but it's not this big. Like, this is huge. My hardcover is like little. It's a little hardcover. And this is huge and giant and thick, and I'm just like, how small is the text in that? That's my thought. But I do have this. I guess I'll replace that because I do like the big one a little bit better, although that one I got in Maine, so I'm like, I don't know. All right, I did also get this entire series here, Unnatural, Unafraid, and Unwelcome. I don't think that's the order it goes in. Okay, it starts with Unnatural, Unwelcome, and then Unafraid. So this is like a gay vampire series I remember reading in high school. Like, my high school library had it and I read it and I remember it being really like flowery, but I haven't read it in 15 years, so I'm interested to reread it. Like, this was just in my kind of like whole like rush of like just buying so many books. Another Stephen King hardcover, The Dark Tower, which is great. I'm trying to collect these in hardcover. As of right now, I only have 1 Dark Tower book on my shelves because Wolves of the Kala is the only one I have in hardcover, so this will be nice. I did pick up, finally, I've been wanting to pick this up for months. Can you stop rubbing your face on my books, please? It's making it difficult. I've wanted to pick it up for months. Every time I just never do. Like, I look at it, I'm like, oh, that looks really interesting, and I never pick it up. I finally did. Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews, which is gay YA body horror, maybe some kind of horror stuff. I don't know, but it looks so interesting for genuinely so long. Oh, that's gorgeous. I love that. And I just never actually picked it up, and now I have. All right, I also have Pure Silence by K.L. Years. I'm gonna say Years, which is a self-published male romance from what I could tell. I did also pick up the first Mistborn book in hardcover, because I have been buying my Brandon Sanderson in hardcover now. I have read the entire Mistborn series, at least the first three. I read them all in crappy little Mass Market paperbacks. I have the second book in hardcover, so I figured I'd pick up the first. I will be rereading it because it goes in the book wall. They all do. All right, more Stephen King hardcover. I'm gonna do this first so I can do all those together. I did pick up Dapko because it was the only one I didn't have. So that's that. That's all I'm saying about that. And then all the rest of my Stephen King hardcovers. Black House, which I think I do have a hardcover of Black House, but I like that one more than I like this one, so I might not keep this one. I don't know. Nightmares and Dreamscapes, which again I also have on hardcover already. It was a lot on eBay. Like, I didn't just pick and choose these. Hearts in Atlantis, which I'm not sure if I have in hardcover or not. I might. If I do, it's in the book wall because it's not on my shelf. Oh my god, I do not have room for these. And then one of my least favorite Stephen King books, actually, Desperation. So I've got these. I've got one more little stack over here that I don't think is going to fit on this chair, but we're going to do our best. I did pick up Rage by Jackie Morse Kessler. I did order, I was missing this one and also Breathe. Breathe is still coming, but I wanted to fill out this series. This is a childhood series for me. It's like, it's the Riders of the Apocalypse series. They are, you know, a bunch of depressed kids who all have problems who become like 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Can we do that? Yeah, let's do that. All right. Then another manga series that I'm currently collecting is, I'm trying to take off the sticker. It didn't want to. The Flowers of Evil. This is volume 4. I've read volumes 1 and 2. I have volume 3 in the book wall. Flowers of Evil. Shuzo Oshimi is just so fun. He like really gives me Inio Asano vibes. Maybe not quite as talented artistically. Like, I think Inio Asano's like drawing is much better, but it's fun. And then the new version of Touch by Natalia Jaster came out. And Natalia Jaster, I've been reading her since I was in high school. She's like the first romantasy I ever read. I think she really was very easy on the romantasy train too. But am I not giving you enough attention? I'm actively busy right now, Kat. She's rubbing up on my leg. Like, I took away her giant stack of books to rub up against everything, that's why. But she has recently been rewriting and re-releasing her books, and I don't really know how I feel about that as like a self-published author. I don't really like it. Can you not bite my knees? That doesn't mean move to my toes. Stop it. I don't know. Like, I would never do that, but also I really liked her writing, so like, I've been repurchasing them, so I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it, but I do think she's really good. And then, so this is my favorite book. I have a paperback. It's like an old UK paperback, and I wanted a hardcover because it's my favorite book. And the fact that if I buy a book that I put in the book wall and get to reread it has nothing to do with this, I promise. That's Glamorama by Brady Snells. This is a hardcover. If you look underneath, we just got a whole bunch of like celebrities. Keanu Reeves is there. He's the one I care about the most. I love Glamorama. It is genuinely, I reread it last year or the year before, I don't remember. I reread it recently, and it was like, oh, this is my favorite book of all time. And so I needed to get a hardcover of it. That was the thing. I needed a hardcover. I'm gonna not put anything for that. That can be like the king there. I did also get 2 New Yorkers. I got the February 3rd one and the February 10th one. So that is nice. And then we got a couple other books came with Glamorama. I bought it for Glamorama, but it also came with Crooked Little Vein by Warren Ellis, and also Gun Machine by Warren Ellis, and then another Bryce Nell's book. I did come with Imperial Bedrooms, which I haven't read Imperial Bedrooms. I did read Less Than Zero. This is like a sequel to that, and it is also in hardcover, which is nice. And then the last book that I did receive is Heaven by Miyako Kawakami, which is a translated Japanese novel. I think it's about like these kids are bullied. Affecting novel on the theme of violence. We'll see. I've heard good things about this author. But that is that. There are still some things coming. I do have another lot of Stephen King hardcovers coming, as well as a couple of random volumes of manga, and I think that might be it. And Breathe, like I said. But that is that. I gotta put this stuff away and figure out what I'm doing with my life. Can you not bite me, please? Don't do that. She didn't bite me. I just saw her little mouth open. I'm like, no, she's gonna try and bite me. She's mad that I took away her her stack of books that she was rubbing up against. Now she's being mean. Anyway, that's everything. Goodbye.